real estate has always been a trust business. Now, agents, you know this. You can't sell someone the biggest purchase of their life without trust. And you cannot get someone to let strangers walk through their home without trust, right? You cannot negotiate on someone's behalf without trust. That has never changed. Now, what has changed is how trust is built, how fast it forms, and how easily it breaks, and where the whole process begins. Because now in 2026, trust is being built and lost before most agents know that a potential client even exists, right? And the agents who understand that, they're operating in a completely different business than the ones who do not. But don't worry, that's what we're going to talk about today on Elite Zone. I'm Max Bergstrom. Blake, good morning. How are you?
Top of the morning. I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Let's get into this topic. Are you ready?
Oh, I was born ready. Are you?
Oh, you were born ready. All right. I love that. Well, we're talking about trust. And you can't really sell, buy, work with somebody. I mean, you can't have any relationships that are meaningful without trust, right? And we're talking about a huge transaction. This isn't like buying sneakers or something, right? This is,
Yeah.
helping somebody make a huge transaction. So trust has always been there, but it's changed.
Yeah.
So, how do you build trust now? If it's not, it's still needed, but how it forms is different. So how is trust forming in real estate transactions now?
Yeah. So, if you think about it, honestly, really not even that long ago, maybe 8, 10 years ago, right? We would say, hey, I got a real estate agent, and here's their information. And that buyer probably would call them same day. They would be
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, sweet, awesome. Less work I got to do. I know someone that they're referring. I trust them. We're good to go, right?
Yep.
But now with just like digital presence, online presence just being such a huge source
Mm-hmm.
for where people gather information, it's not as simple. So today, people are going to say, hey, instead of just trusting them, calling them, they're probably going to Google them. They're probably
Totally.
going to see, do they have reviews? Do they have an active website that also,
Yeah.
tells me about them? Do
Do
they
I
have
like them?
yeah, do they have a social media?
Are they
I mean,
relatable? Yep. All of that stuff.
even from my experience, right? I didn't know. I'm from the East Coast. I came to California and I didn't know any real estate agents, even though I'm in the real estate industry, right? We
Yeah. You're a
service,
notary, right?
yeah, mobile
Yeah.
notary,
Yeah. Heck yeah.
signing agent. And so like I know a lot of real estate agents, right? All over
Mm-hmm.
the country because we service so many clients, but
Yep.
it's trying to find now the one in specific San Diego in my location, like being able to truly service what me and my fiance are looking for. So like
Yes.
we got a lot of recommendations, which was great. And the first thing that we did was we were like, hey, okay, this is awesome. We have a list now we can work off of because there are hundreds, thousands of real estate agents in our area, right? And then we went and we're like, all right, what are the reviews? We're looking to see how recent are those reviews because
Yep.
that tells us that they're active, that they are currently, practicing real estate. We're looking for like, hey, what's on their websites? Do they have any properties currently that they are listing or that they might be having buyer resources that we can look for that we're curious about on some of the questions that we might have. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're looking at social media. Honestly, I want to know and try to gauge someone's personality off of their social media. That is
Me
how
too.
consumers are searching nowadays,
Yep.
right? And they want to know, like, can I relate to this person? Do I feel like I can have a conversation with this person? And that definitely helped with like being able to feel confident in reaching out, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
didn't not reach out to everyone to just at least have a conversation, but the ones that were having a presence that had Google reviews that were active on the website, like we were more confident in being like, hey, we want to set something up ASAP, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how like just the digital footprint is completely changing how trust signals are kind of handled at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, what I'm hearing is it's like what we do is we gather as much evidence and info from digital sources first, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
it used to be, well, I'll go home and then I'll Google them. Now we have the cell phones, smartphones. Now we can
Yeah.
do it there. Literally now you can drive and open up a chat or Claude and talk to it and drive and be like, hey, my wife and I are looking for a home in like Lincoln Park, Chicago,
Yeah.
and we're looking for a real estate agent that is really communicative, somebody that is an expert in that area, maybe somebody that has any specific knowledge on boom boom. Like you can just talk, and like you said, AI can cite if you
Yeah.
don't have those reviews, if you don't have neighborhood pages, if you don't have a website present, if you're not active, it
Yeah.
knows, right? You're not, and so it's not just best agent near me anymore. People can
No.
be very specific, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can even think of it as like, okay, so you're a seller and you have two listing appointments with agents, right? You um are basically saying like both agents tell you as a seller, they're like, "Hey, like we're the best choice." And they're like, this is why we have this type of experience. We've been in the industry for 20 plus years. This is one of the agents. We've been in the industry for 20 plus years. We love negotiating for our sellers. We've helped X amount of sellers sell their home in this amount of time. This is our marketing strategy, right?
Yep.
And they're telling all of this experience, which to a seller, they're like, oh, okay, yes, we like negotiating. We like that where you're going to get our home off the market
Yeah.
in X amount of days. And that's all great. However, if they have another real estate agent also saying, hey, I have the experience, I have the reviews, I have the negotiating, I have this, I have that. And then they go and they're like, all right, both of these agents are both at the same level. They got the
Hmm.
experience, they have the skills we're looking for, they're promising us X, Y, and Z. Now let's go cross check that with evidence, right? Like, it's just
Mm.
like, I mean, an attorney or a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Like, you
And
gotta
guys,
cross
don't
check.
think people don't do this, right? People do
Yeah,
this.
no, people
This
just
is
like
not like, this
listen.
isn't like us conjuring up something like, oh, this, no, no, no. Consumers now can grill and die. Like it's so easy to do.
It
So,
is.
right.
It is. No, and that's what people are doing. I mean, it's not even in just real estate, too. And that's like another thing where it's not even just this industry. Like, this is what people are doing. And so, what happens is that seller goes and cross checks to see, like, okay, they said they have X amount of experience and they're good at X, Y, and Z. And one of the agents that probably does have all the experience and knowledge and expertise in a certain thing, there's nowhere showing that. So they go on the website, like there's nothing showing all of the marketing that they've done for past sellers with getting their listing out there and making sure that buyers are seeing their listing, right? So when the seller is now making this decision, they're going to go off of the one that has that digital footprint, that has the evidence that's built up online to back up what they're saying. Like, unfortunately, we're not in a world where you can say something and someone's like, I'm taking your word for it. Like, we're going to go with it. Like, no, they want the evidence. They want the proof of you're saying something. We want to see it, right? Like, talk the talk, walk the walk. I want to be able to see, you're saying you've done all this, you're saying you have this experience and expertise, prove it. So then that way we can choose you as the ultimate decision. And that is how consumers in any market and industry is making decisions now.
For sure. And it matters most because,
Yeah.
like we were talking about before, like in real estate,
Yeah.
the transactions, it's high stakes, man. High stakes decisions. This could be somebody that's choosing their forever home.
Oh,
So and
100%.
yeah, situations like that are going to demand a higher amount of trust.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah.
there's different types of trust, right? Like there's like competence trust. So, you have the competence isn't just saying like, hey, I'm a luxury specialist. It's
Mm,
opening a CMA explaining why two homes on the same street sold for 80,000 apart because one had original finishes and one had been remodeled. So like that is like something that someone could say, but they could also say, "Hey, I'm instead of like not instead of explaining like, hey, I'm just a luxury specialist, and they actually have like recordings on their website that is maybe even if it's 2 minutes. I mean, we had a real estate agent. She did 2 minute tip Tuesday. Okay,
Nice.
you can record a 2 minute video explaining why your client's house hasn't sold after 30 days instead of simply we needed a price reduction.
Mm.
Or like buyers
Mm-hmm.
like don't remember you said you're knowledgeable. They remember when you explain why waiving an appraisal might make sense in one offer, but a terrible idea in another.
Yeah.
Like
So
those,
what you're saying right now is like, yeah, like all of this is like a knowledge base and an experience base. And when you put it out online,
yeah,
it adds to your digital footprint. And
correct,
when
yeah,
you're cranking that type of content out consistently, that's AI is going to notice that. And exactly what
exactly.
Blake is saying, if you're saying, hey, this is Mr. Agent, my clients or my seller's home hasn't closed yet. They needed a price reduction, but we're working it out. Really excited, like as opposed to what you had said, the specific, like going specific, right? Because all of
Yeah,
that is now put in
yeah,
the knowledge base.
100%. And like sometimes people can also look and say like, oh, there was a price reduction. Like why? Like why was there a price reduction? You know?
Yes.
And sometimes it was, maybe the marketing wasn't done strategically, or maybe the marketing was done strategically. Maybe they wanted to do a price reduction. Maybe after they did more research, like it compared to the market and like what it was worth. Like there's certain reasons, right? So like being able to explain that is going to help be like, hey, yes, we had a price reduction, but this is why. We re-strategized the marketing, stuff like that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
You bring the solution into it.
yeah, you
Mhm.
need to understand like that competence trust is, a factor in the different trust, I guess, funnels you could say.
Got it. What other types of trust we got?
Yeah, so another kind of form of trust is integrity trust, right? So I think that a lot of times when someone is honest and has their best interest in mind rather than their own, like that's having integrity, right? Like as an agent, you want to make sure you're always having that like fiduciary benefit to whoever you're working with, whether it's the seller or the buyer, right? So like, let's say a seller wants to list their home for 500,000, but every piece of data shows that the market really only supports their home worth like 475,000. The integrity trust on that is having like that uncomfortable conversation instead of taking the overpriced listing just to get the sign in the yard, right? It's like having that conversation with the seller and saying,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I know you love your home. I
Mm-hmm.
know you think that it is worth that 500,000.
Yep.
Everyone has some
The
sort of
attachment, right?
emotional
The
attachment to it.
memories here. My kids ran down the stairs. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're picturing all that. That's
You
tough.
have that, and that's great. But if you have the integrity as the agent and saying, hey, I, based off of the data, based off of the market, where you live, what features you have in your home compared to other properties in your area that are also on the market, other homes that are listed or near you, this is what I think we can do. Now, let's be honest. You have the price out there, and
Yep.
sometimes you have different bids. So you might be able to work yourself up to maybe close to what you think it is worth, right? So
Mm.
like it's never a hey, the property's listed for 475 and that is what it's closing at, right? Like if you have multiple bids, you can potentially work away and negotiate to getting a little closer to that 500. So like once again, having that uncomfortable conversation with your client is going to help you build that integrity trust that a lot of times some agents are, afraid to have because they do want just the deal.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, integrity that's extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, yeah,
And look, people can see through. If you don't have integrity, and you're acting like it's gonna shine through, right?
yeah.
So yeah, absolutely have integrity. But
It,
I just wanted to mention that as well. Like that's such a big trust builder when you tell somebody, look, I'm going to advise you to do something that is going, possibly going to remove me from the equation, or you
Yes.
might not need to pay me as much because it's in your best interest. That's what you know what I mean?
100%. So actually, our real estate agent, Kelsey, one is amazing, but she recently actually just posted on her Instagram going live and told a story about how she got reached out to her past sellers, her past clients. They wanted to sell their home because of some stuff going on, and after kind of like sitting down with them, truly going through and identifying like why did they want to sell, what were they hoping for, what is their goal, what are they going to do with the money that they're trying to get, and all this stuff, it was actually in their best interest to keep the property, not sell it, and do other things to get to the goal or result that they were looking for. And the whole point of her telling the story is like, I basically shut down a deal. Like, I basically said,
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this commission that I'm
Yeah.
going to get off of this sale because it's not in your best interest.
Yep.
Like, your best interest is to hold this property and invest and use that investment. Like, and so like that is another reason why, one, we love our agent, but two, like that's that integrity of like knowing that your agent is truly trying to do the best for you and the decisions that you're trying to make, and building that relationship to where like I know I'm going to go back to our agent, right? And like
For
those
sure.
sellers are going to be like, oh wow, like we didn't even think that that was an option to not have to sell.
Mhm.
And the fact that you were able to see that we could keep the property and obviously that kept you from getting another commission, like we're going to want to continue working for you because we feel that trust that
Yes.
you do have our best interest.
100%. Yep, that's so important. All right. And then what about the third type of trust?
Yeah, well, why don't you dive into it, Max?
Benevolence trust. That's one of those words, benevolence, So
Oh,
yeah,
fancy.
it is, right? But this is like the belief that this specific real estate agent actually cares about me as a human being, not just a transaction. So we're kind of leading into this from what we were just talking about. But this is built through personal interaction, right? So like when you are face to face, how that agent shows up in conversations, how you communicate during the stressful moments when you're wearing all the different hats. Like, I've seen all these memes from agents where they're like, I'm a psychologist today, and then tomorrow I'm a babysitter, and then the next day I'm a financial, you know what I mean? So you
Next day
wear a
I'm
lot
a
of hats.
therapist.
Next day
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
therapist. Yeah. Right. So it's, and I'm not saying that, you have to do all that, but it's how you show up, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you're in business with this person. Yes, it's a transaction. But if you're a smart real estate agent, you want these people to consider you like family,
Yeah.
right? So when you show up like that and you're like, look, I'm here for you, not only to sell you, not only to help you sell or buy, but to walk you through this very, very challenging and sometimes emotionally labor intensive period. And I'm going to do it, with integrity and do what's in your best interest. And yeah, I'm going to show you how much I care. So that can't really be fully built digitally.
No.
But, just like Blake said, if you're showcasing transactions or telling stories where this kind of thing happens, AI, it reads that stuff, guys. It can tell, right?
Yeah,
It can tell.
100%. And also too, like, and another thing that I love that you said about like wearing the multiple hats is like, if someone's listening right now and they're like, oh yeah, like I feel like I do wear multiple hats, like I am doing everything, and you're someone that you've had clients, sellers, buyers, whoever, that maybe have reached out after a closing, let's say a buyer that's like, hey, by any chance, do you have like a plumber you would recommend? Like, they're not reaching out because they think that you have plumbing
Plumber.
expertise, but
Right.
because they trust you enough to whoever you recommend, they feel is an extension of you. So
Yeah, and that's like why the digital trust and personal trust that we're going to talk about next year, that they're not the same thing, but you need both, right? They do different jobs, but you need both. And so, like in a conversation, the difference between digital trust and personal trust, they're agents who conflate them are either over investing in one at
Yeah.
the expense of the other, or failing to build either of them consistently, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like it's a shame sometimes, because I know like really, really good people, good agents. They're fantastic at what they do. All their clients love them, but they don't do anything online. They don't, no posting. And some of them are just like, yeah, whatever. I'm happy how they are. But some of them are like, I'm really frustrated, and it's just like, yeah, you need this digital part. So digital trust and personal trust, the difference between these two. Let's get
Yeah.
into this a little bit.
Yeah, so I think that like once again it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier of like and we can use like the open house as the example. Like you
Hmm.
have two agents that host, the same exact event. I mean, real estate agents are hosting open houses all the time.
Hmm.
And you have a visitor that goes to the open house and they go to both of these agents' open houses and after, right, because they didn't know these agents, after they go and they're like, hey, let me go on, like, Google them. Like, they seemed really nice in person, right? Like, they seemed cool. They answered my questions that I had.
Hmm.
And then they go Google them. And once again, they go Google and they find outdated information or, their reviews aren't like current. The website maybe is just like a landing page or
Hmm.
it's not user
Or
friendly.
maybe none at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It could be their broker's website, and next thing you know, they're clicking around, and now they're on a completely different agent, and they're like, "Where am I? I'm gonna get
Yeah.
off this."
Right.
And but then once again, they go on the other agent who they just met, right? They don't know them yet, but their digital presence shows that they're active, that they other people enjoyed working with them. They are talking about the market. They're talking about the neighborhoods. When you are trying to basically market and convince someone who you are, how you can help them, that only goes so far, right?
Hmm.
Especially like, yes, your family and friends know who you are. They know
Yes.
your personality. They know that you are willing to help everyone and are willing to go above and beyond. But someone that just meets you, in this case, an open house for the first time, they have maybe 5-10 minutes to try to get to know you, right? Like
Hmm.
that's not a long time to get to know
No,
you.
that's a really good point. I've seen like agents at open houses who do like the approach when somebody comes in the door, and you can just see that they're just like, oh, just looking. I'm just looking. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. I mean, the trust factor, that's
Yeah.
huge.
So you just want that to equal. You want to be able to one showcase yourself, your personality, that personal trust. But
Hmm.
if you don't have that digital trust to kind of back up what you're showcasing, it's really hard for someone that doesn't know you to be like, I'm ready to dive all in.
Yeah. And then there's like an AI dimension to this dynamic as well, like a third layer that comes in that we've talked about, right? About AI
Oh,
evaluating the digital trust signals, right?
yep,
To determine and who to recommend. And now what we were talking about, people are talking to chat. So when a buyer asks
yep,
chat or Claude for an agent recommendation,
yeah,
AI is going to run its own version of the trust evaluation,
exactly.
and look for those competence signals, guys. So, I mean,
Yeah,
this trust thing. This is real. If you understand this, and if you're just starting as an agent and you understand this and you move in this direction, I
hmm,
guarantee you will you'll move a lot quicker than doing things by the book traditionally, right? Like call
yeah,
everybody in my phone, like do all that stuff too. But the reason why we're on this podcast is to help you guys keep in mind how quickly things are changing and how quickly how your buyers and sellers experience the beginnings of a relationship when they're trying to find you, and how important that is now. So
yeah,
there is this trust architecture. Every agent needs it,
yep.
right? So how do you build it, and how do you scale it? How do you scale trust?
You need to do everything that we're talking about. Honestly, you need to you have your personal trust where
Mhm.
when you're doing, open houses, networking events, whatever it is in
Yep.
person, you're building that trust. And then you also need to be doing everything that Elite Zone talks about week on week,
Hmm.
of building that digital identity, right? And I think that the agents that are understanding and having that mindset shift, we're seeing the results. They're
Yes.
seeing the results. Like,
Yes.
we're seeing that when you understand you have to make that shift and are now putting the work behind it. Like, agents are the ones that people are like, hey, I'm moving from Las Vegas to Phoenix, I'm looking for a real estate agent and this and that, and AI is able to recommend them, and then they're able to cross check on their socials and their website and their Google and the reviews. They're like, yep, all right, I'm going to reach out to this person, I'm going to work with them, right? Like,
Right.
the agents that understand, like, this is what you have to do to survive.
Hmm.
This is part of the industry, the shift that's happening. The ones that can adapt are seeing the success. Now, we've talked about it, like, you don't need to be a tech genius. You don't need to know AI in and out. You don't need to
Hmm.
understand the algorithms fully. There's companies like Agent Elite that understand how things need to be structured and what
Yeah.
needs to be posted and how many times it needs to be posted and all the
Can
ins and
even do it for you if you're too busy, right?
our clients that are on our concierge love that they can focus on what they do best, which is helping buyers and sellers, and they can focus on their real estate agent part of the networking and building the relationships, and
Yeah.
giving us the responsibility of, like, all right, here's the marketing and all the tech stuff I need
Yeah.
you guys to do. Please do it. And it's the results are awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
if you want to grow and scale,
yeah,
leveraging the Agent Elite Concierge is it is a
mhm,
great way to do that. Just
yeah,
because we're neck deep in this stuff all day long.
yeah,
What agents are doing, how can they do better, how do they show up online, what's trending, what's coming up, what shifts, what do we need to let people know. So it's a great way to do it.
yeah,
And because you guys know, right, the real estate, it's a trust business. That's what we've been talking about, right?
yeah,
And trust, that's not going to change. It's just what has changed is where trust is built first,
yeah,
right? And all competency trust, integrity trust, benevolence trust, all of these matter. And you've got to do, the personal trust, all of it. You got to wrap it up all in one neat package, right?
a
And then
bundle.
a bundle, and then systemize that bundle. And Agent
Yeah,
Elite, we can help you map
yeah,
that out. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. You need to go and comment visible on any post on Instagram or Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever. And we're going to send you the Agent Elite Visible Agent Guide. You can also get it at agentelite.com/visible. What is this going to tell them, Blake?
it's going to give them the visible agent playbook. It's going to break down on how to be visible if you're not already. It's going to give them the tools, and just education on what they need to do to be successful in this digital and AI era. We also have a visibility grader. So we actually recently sent that out, to our clients, past clients, anyone
Yep.
that was on our newsletter.
I got the email.
So,
It's rad.
hey,
Really
heck
cool.
yes.
Hmm.
So we'll go ahead and add that to our website. So if you just go to agentelite.com, and go under resources. So if you want to see where you are, in terms of, like, how visible you are, and wanting to be better and get better, we'll also send you a playbook based off of the grade you receive. So that way you kind of have some immediate action items and understanding, like, what are the first things I need to do, whether it's to get a higher grade, keep the grade I'm at, bridge that kind of gap from where your competitors are to where you are. So definitely a lot of resources we offer our clients and non-clients.
Mm.
We're all about educating and
Yeah.
supporting real estate agents, to be successful, because that's truly what it matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so here's the challenge, guys. This week, go ahead and audit your trust architecture honestly, right? Where are you building competency trust? Is your expertise visible and specific, or is it just in your bio?
Yeah.
Where's your integrity showing up? Are you educating and not just pitching? Is every post have a call to action? Or are you being too salesy? Like, you kind of look at this stuff through the eyes of your buyers and sellers. And you know what? Ask somebody that knows you. Go on, just look at my stuff and just tell me, is it
Yeah.
is it coming off too salesy, or it? Criticism can be tough, but it's necessary, right? I mean, it's that's how you sharpen. So go do that. Find the weakest of the three, right? Or I shouldn't say weakest. The areas where you can improve the most.
Areas of
Opportunity.
opportunity.
Where's the trust opportunity for you? And then send us a message or comment on this episode. And if you guys need anything, you know how to get at us. But this is Elite Zone. This has been a great episode. Get out there, build the trust before the conversation, earn the call before it happens, and we will see you in the next episode.